Hello, you guys. I heard that there was going to be a supermoon on January 1st, 2018. Then I heard there was going to be a blue moon that same month on the 31st. But then I also heard that it was a lunar eclipse. So a super blue blood moon on January 31st, which is bshvat, which is the Jewish people consider it to be a minor feast day, but I think it's a very important feast day. They like to make it more about the actual plants and trees and fruits and all that, and that's important because it does have a spiritual relation to us. But Tu Bishvat is the new year for the trees, the birthday of the trees. And they are not to take of the fruit. It's forbidden to take of the fruit for the first 3 years after it starts bearing fruit. It has to go through 3 fruit-bearing cycles before they can take of the fruit. And that is important because in Luke 13, Jesus gives a parable about the man who had a tree planted in his vineyard, and I believe it was a fig tree. I'm not 100% certain that I remember if it was a fig tree or if it just said tree, but and he said, it's not bearing fruit, cut it down. And the vine dresser said, give it 1 more year, and then if it still doesn't, give it another year, I'll fertilize it, take care of it, and then if it still doesn't bear fruit, then we'll cut it down. But if it does bear fruit, then it is well. So, hang on a minute. Okay, sorry. So, the decisions are made for the fate of the trees on this day, every year. If it doesn't bear fruit after the 3 years, then they cut it down, I guess. And, but they have a seder that they have on this day, and it has different fruits and grains and things like that. Wheat, barley, figs, pomegranates, all kinds of different things on there, and you can study more on that on your own. I don't think that they've put as much importance into this feast day as I think they should. Because when you think about it, the 3rd day of creation is when God spoke the trees to come forth, and the fruit-bearing trees and the herb-bearing, or the herb plants and all of that. That was the 3rd day of creation. And we all know the 3rd day is a very important phrase in the Bible. The 3rd day Jesus rose, and there's just so many references in the Bible to how important the 3rd day is. And we also know 3 is of the Trinity. It's a reference to the Trinity, the Holy Trinity. So no fruit is to be taken from the tree for 3 years after it begins to bloom and bear fruit. I think there's a reference to first fruits, and they have to take their tithes and their first fruits out of it. And they bless every single, they go through the whole feast with each individual thing, and they have a certain order, and I think this order is very important too, and I haven't gotten totally into the order of it, of what they eat in a certain order, but there's white wine and red wine that they drink. It's kosher wine, and each food they say a blessing before they eat it and after they eat it, and they have to eat them in certain orders. Let's see. I've got so many notes here. I've been taking notes for the last couple of days on it. Anyway, we know that we are in the fig tree generation, and the fig tree is a reference to Israel. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I've got so many papers here with notes. Bill Cloud, I think this is what I should say next. Bill Cloud